Good morning, everybody. My name is Corey Rose. It's not morning anymore, it's evening.
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Corey Rosen, and you're listening to the Story Podcast. Today, I have on a super awesome guest, Mr. Jake Mach. Born and raised in Glen Rock, PA, Navy veteran Jake Mach is a CPMA nominated singer songwriter with a soulful voice perfectly suited for storytelling. Mach writes in a variety of styles across the spectrum of country music. Jake picked up a guitar at only 8 years old and hasn't put it down since. It wasn't long before he began writing songs and playing for anybody who would listen, a hobby that would never grow old. At age 19, he enlisted in the Navy as a hospital horseman, specializing as a surgical tech. Throughout his enlistment, he continued to write and, at the urging of other sailors, self produced and released his album Songs That Got Me Here. After 5 years, he was honorably discharged and began to pursue a music career, playing 104 shows his first year and releasing his homecoming album, Indigo. His newest EP, Valley Tapes, is a collaborative effort with Grammy nominated artist Troy Engel and highlights his lyrics with a modern take on 80s and 90s country music. Jake, how are you doing today?
Doing great. How about you, man?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited for this. There's a lot to go through here. So, uh, you picked up a guitar at 8 years old. What was that like? How'd that happen? Where did the guitar come from?
I was watching Drake and Josh when I was little, and I thought Drake Bell was, like, the coolest dude ever, and I was like, "He's got a red Stratocaster. I wanna play guitar like that." So, my family went to, like, the Menchie Music where I was living. They got bought me, like, a three-quarter size Fender or it was a Squire Strat, but it looked the same when I was little. I had no idea, but no, it was that's kinda how it all started.
So from there, where'd you go? Did you immediately start writing your own songs or
It wasn't long. I think the first song I learned was Wild Thing by the Troggs. So I knew, like, GCD, and then I kinda took that and started writing probably within a couple months, and obviously, they were, like, awful. They were like a song that an eight-year-old would write,
Right, of course.
but it was like, it just kinda developed and, my style changed throughout the years, but I just always kinda was writing.
So when did you start, taking it seriously, do you think?
Uh, I don't know, I had a buddy named Matt Twaddle. He had a basement, and we had a band, and he had a basement studio, and that's kinda when we started, like, doing, like, little recordings, and it was a all analog, so it took forever, and we were, like, in early high school, so given that age, you look back on it, it's like that probably wasn't the best project, but it was something that we considered serious at the time, but
Mhm.
it wasn't until I started like, once I got out the Navy that I started thinking, like, I can actually do this as a career.
So why the Navy then?
Uh, so I went to Bloomsburg for a semester, but I always had that draw, and some people know what I'm talking about, some people don't, but, like, I just had the draw of, like, I just feel like I need to enlist, like, I need to do it. I feel like I'm obligated to do it, and I went in there and I thought I was gonna do 20 years and, you get in there and, you kinda romanticize the idea before you do something and you get into it, and I was like, I think I'll be happier outside the Navy, and then once I was getting out, people were asking like, "Oh, well, what are you gonna do if you're not gonna be a surge tech?" And, the Navy has so much to offer. I was like, "I'm gonna go to school and I'm gonna play music." And I don't think anybody took it seriously.
Yeah, you mentioned in the bio that, you at the urging of other sailors, you started, creating an album.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Um, so one of the things we did was we went down to South America. I think it was called Operation Enduring Promise, and I wanna say 2019. And the MWR is like they're kinda like the Navy or military people that set up, like, stuff to kinda boost morale, like, when you're on a ship for a while, like, everybody kinda gets down. So they set up this thing called Comfort's Got Talent, where it was, like, every week, it was like a weekly talent show, like elimination style, and I won that, but because I did that, there wasn't much else to do on the ship, so, like, everybody showed up and people were like, "I really like your songs, you got them out on anything?" And I was like, not really, I just kinda play them." They were like, "You should put them out so I could listen." And then other people were like, "I wanna listen to your stuff, and I'm transferring or I'm PCSing to a different, duty station, but I wanna be able to show other people your stuff." So I just kinda bit the bullet, and I was like, "It's gonna be expensive." But I bought some recording equipment, set it up on, like, a home computer, and recorded, Songs That Got Me Here, which is my first, like, official on Spotify, like, professionally done album. But yeah.
And what was the theme of the songs that got you here?
So, the title track was a song that I wrote just called "Songs That Got Me Here," and
Mhm.
it's kind of about somebody just going through a bunch of old boxes and finding an old mixtape he made, and every song meant, like, something different and would, like, kinda gave, like, a different milestone to the part of his life, and I called it "Songs That Got Me Here." But as a project, the album was just more of a collection of songs that I had that people liked or songs that I thought that I could record well. Like, I was very limited because 'cause I'd never recorded before. I just kinda, like, downloaded Pro Tools and figured it out as I went. I got
So
my YouTube degree.
right, right. Well, you said you went to school. What did you go to school for?
I'm a math major.
Math major.
Mm.
Did you wanna do anything in that or
I feel like data science I wanna do data science. Data science is like my if I gotta pick a regular person job, if I gotta pick, like, a real, like, settled down job, I wanna do data science. But I also didn't expect the music to take off the way it has.
so in what way is that?
Just, we so when I got out the Navy, we booked a couple, like, just dip your foot in the water type shows, like, am I gonna get good reception? Do I actually is this something I might be able to do? And we did, like, 4 or 6 shows or something like that, at the end of 2020. Yeah, and then 2021 is when we were like, "Alright, I'm all in, let's do it, let's book shows," and Ken's here, she does all the booking, she's my manager, and she's also my fiancée.
This is a it's
No, yeah, she's my fiancée, but she's also my manager, and, she booked me 104 shows in last year, and I think this year we're at 97 now? Yeah.
pretty good, man. What's, one of the venues that you wanna get to around here?
Well, it was Double Barrel Roadhouse, we actually just played that on Saturday, so that was a pretty cool opportunity,
Nice.
um, but if I had to pick, like, one stage I'd like to play, I'd probably be, like, the Froggy Free stage at the fair.
Really?
I
Okay.
feel like that'd be a nice, like, a cool thing to be able to do.
That's awesome, man. I'm not familiar with that stage. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, they do, they always have, like, national acts come in for, like, country music, but they try to have local people come in and open for 'em, and if I get a shot at doing that, that'd be pretty cool.
It would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, recently you got nominated for a CPMA. Tell me
Mhm.
about that, and, what do you think you got nominated for?
Uh, well, I think a lot of people like my songs, I guess.
Really? Yeah,
I
right.
honestly, I knew people were saying they were gonna, like, nominate me for stuff, and I was like, "Ooh, I'd really like to get in for, like, songwriter because I didn't think I'd be up to the caliber of, like, so I got nominated for Best Male Country Artist.
Mm,
I was like, "It's my first year, I don't know if I'm quite that caliber yet." Like, I'd be happy to get, like, maybe songwriter or new artist or something like that. I kinda had my sights set on, like, the more achievable, I thought, like, the smaller
yeah.
the ones with, like, less people, but
The easier ones, yeah, quote, unquote.
quote, unquote, yeah. I don't think any of them are
No, I
easy,
don't think any of them
but I
either
feel
are,
like
yeah.
I was like, I'm a new artist, I feel like I'd probably be better at best new artist, and then the nominations came out, and I was up for, best male country artist, and I was like, "Whoa, okay,
They got
cool."
some fierce competition there
Yeah.
too. I think Cody Tyler and I think Sam Schmidhuber might be in that category as
I
well.
know Sam is. I think Cody might be nominated for country band, male country
Mm,
band.
maybe. I know he's nominated for 4. Check out
Jeez,
yeah, right, yeah, yeah, I think he's, like, the most nominated, at least this year.
that's insane.
Yeah, right. He's doing some really cool stuff. But yeah, man. So what is it about your songwriting do you think that catches people? What's your style? What's your process like?
Uh, man. I guess I just kinda write songs that I feel like are more down to earth, like, I'm not really I don't think, like, I write songs that are, like, up there in the stratosphere, I just kinda write songs about, like, how I feel and, like, just more of, like I feel like my songs look a little more inward than they do, how everything's stacking up.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So we have one of your songs, "Sticks and Stones." Tell me about that one then.
So that was one I wrote. I feel like, things have definitely changed since I was born in '97, which is kinda like that awkward year of, like, you're in between, like, 2 big like
Moments.
yeah, 2 big moments of, like, I grew up when the internet was coming up, but it wasn't, like, the huge thing it is now, and, like, same with cell phones, like, I feel like when I was growing up, it wasn't like, I don't think I got a cell phone until I was, like, 12, and it was, like, a T-Mobile flip phone, and it
Yeah, or the slide phones with the keyboards.
oh, man, I wanted a Sidekick so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I thought that was it. But no, like yeah, it was like a just kind of an awkward thing where it was like, the internet didn't quite rule the world yet, not everybody had cell phones, but I feel like just in that little gap of, like, the kids growing up now, I feel like they miss out on, like, a lot of stuff that I feel like people are kinda buried in the technology now, and it's not the same as it was growing up. So Sticks and Stones was something I wrote just about growing up in, like, a little bit of a different time.
Oh, with that said, this is Sticks and Stones by Jake Mach.
There's a 40-foot cliff down where the river runs just a little bit deeper, with nowhere to jump. But if there were some girls around, us boys didn't care. We were evil Knievel, buzzing on daddy's fridge beers. You might get you a few bruises and bumps. There's a story to tell, something you gotta try once. There ain't much to do, man, when you're splitting dimes. We were fourth generation heritage, hard times. Had a little dirt on our hands and calluses on our feet. We would chip all the old blocks for skin off our knees. More than a few hearts and bones. That was back when you grew up grazing sticks and stones. Called a 32 dive. When coach put me in, I took a head-on hit from some out-of-town kid. I stood up dizzy and a little bit torn, but man, I wore the hell out of that stained uniform. And before the moon could bid us goodbye, we were laughing and hollering under back porch lights. There ain't much to do, man, when you're splitting dimes. We were fourth generation heritage, hard times. Had a little dirt on our hands and calluses on our feet. We would chip all the old blocks for skin off our knees. More than a few hearts and bones. That was back when you grew up grazing sticks and stones. Probably won as many fights as we lost. We stood our ground without a second thought. There ain't much to do, man, when you're splitting dimes. We were fourth generation heritage, hard times. Had a little dirt on our hands and calluses on our feet. We would chip all the old blocks for skin off our knees. Come on, wore out with Mom fixing supper. She kept the front door unlocked and that box fan running. Had a couple holes in our clothes and kept our parents restless. What are we gonna do with them kids reckless, breaking more than a few hearts and bones? That was back when you grew up raising sticks and stones. Sticks and stones.
And that was Sticks and Stones by Jake Mach. Where was that recorded at?
So I recorded with Troy Angle. He records at his house. He's out of Glen Rock. He's a bluegrass guy.
That's awesome. And, is that's an older project of yours, or is it a newer one?
Nope, that all the songs I sent you today are gonna be on a new EP.
Let's talk about that. Why, the new EP is called Valley Tapes. Why
Mhm.
is it called Valley Tapes? What's the
So we put a little bit of thought into it, and we were just kinda like we were throwing some names out there, and some just stuck out to me about Valley Tapes because I was like, Glen Rock is a valley, and, I'm from Glen Rock, Troy's from Glen Rock. A lot of the songs are based out of Glen Rock. 95 is about, me and Ken's, and we're both from Glen Rock, and it was recorded in Glen Rock, so I just kinda felt like Valley Tapes because it was Glen Rock's a valley, and I was like, I just like how it sounded.
That's awesome. And it, 5 songs?
Yep.
And, you mentioned that you wanted it to take a modern take on 90s, 80s, and 90s music.
Mhm.
Why?
I feel like that was just my favorite part of, like, the songwriters back then, I feel like we're just they just kinda wrote a little differently than most of the writers now, like, you get a lot of generic stuff now where I forget, I think it might have been like a Grady Smith video or something like that, and he said that, a lot of stuff nowadays is like Pinterest country where you're just listing stuff off, and I feel like, it's hard to not do that sometimes, but I feel like back in, like, the '80s and '90s, writers were really writing from, like, deep, deep down in, and I always try to, like, find a way to emulate that. I don't think I do the best job of it. I feel like I try to mix that with some modern stuff, but I do try to, like, get some real deep stuff in there and, look a little bit inward.
I'd agree with you. I think 80s and 90s country is where I really fell in love with country to begin with. I can't listen to normal or, modern country anymore.
It definitely sounds a little different.
Definitely sounds a little bit different. Um, so how'd you get in contact with the Grammy nominated artist? Is that just you know a guy or
So, I had heard about Troy, and I heard about him, being a bluegrass guy. Now, granted, I didn't know any of this going into it. It wasn't until I started doing my research, I was like, I know Troy's a fiddle player, and I kinda wanna ask him to, like, be on my next project, and coming to find out he's a session player, so
oh, okay.
he played literally everything on that album except the acoustic guitar on Sticks and Stones. I take that back. We both play acoustic guitar on Sticks and Stones. So he plays literally everything, and he does backing vocals on the entire EP. He produced it, he mixed it, he did everything. But so I just kinda looked in, I heard about Troy. I saw a video on Facebook of him playing fiddle, just did, like, a jam session with some of his buddies, and I was like, "Yeah, I need to be able to reach out to him and, like, ask him to play." And then when I did the research and found out he produced and did everything, I just reached out on Facebook, let him know, like, I'm looking to do a project, gonna be probably 3 to 4 songs, and then as we're going, I started writing more because you get in that groove and you're like,
Mhm.
"Okay, I know what we can do now." But yeah, so come to find out, he was a studio guy in Nashville for a good bit of time, and he got to play, he played with Eric Church. He was on tour with Eric Church, and
Oh,
Eric Church is,
wow.
like, my favorite songwriter. I was like, "Dude, I didn't know any of this," and, like, I just feel like the more we hang out and the more I talk to him, I just find out all this real cool stuff, and it's just like I thought it was, like, a perfect match, especially for the project with these songs. I think he and I were completely on the same page with stuff, and he's given me his input from all his years of experience, like, "Oh, maybe we go down here, we go up, or I might throw a little some of this in there," and, dude, go for it. Go for it. Dude, add what you
At
think
that
you need to
point,
add.
tell me what to do. I'm listening. I'm all ears,
Pretty
right?
much, yeah, like, you let me know when you need me to sing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome, man, and, it's crazy what you can do if you just ask, right?
Yeah.
So, where do you this is coming out in March, right?
Yep, March 3rd, 3/3.
Are you ha are you having a 3/3/23? Are you
Yeah.
having a release party or anything, or
Yep, we're gonna have it on 3/3 from 6 to 9 at, Alecraft Brewing in Railroad, Pennsylvania.
oh, that's gonna be really nice.
Yeah, and they just opened, I think, in January,
Yeah.
so it's a really nice spot. It's always packed, and we love playing there, and it sounds great. Like, they got a lot of natural wood, so, like, the resonance of the room is just awesome.
So stay tuned for that. What, I guess you have tickets for that?
Nope,
No, just
nope.
free.
Yeah, it's a brewery. Come on out.
Oh, dude. Go out to the free event. That's not every day that happens.
Yeah, we're just we'll be playing all the songs. We'll have, like, all CDs and stuff like there, we're gonna try to make a thing of it, but, yeah, just come on out. It's gonna be a good time.
And, speaking of that, we have another one, Road for the Troubadours.
Road for Troubadours, yep.
Tell me about that one.
So that one was one so I've only ever been to Nashville one time in my life. Ken's and I took a vacation there last year, and, it just happened to be during CMA Fest, so it happened to be during one of the busiest weeks there is in Nashville, but
Wow.
that was a cool opportunity because I got a spot at the Bluebird Cafe, so I got a chance to play that, which and then Road for Troubadours was actually the song that I played for him, but that was a song that I had written while we were down there, just kinda, something about the air. I just kinda had a little bit of inspiration, and I started writing that, and I played it for a buddy, and he really liked it, and Ken's really liked it, and we were like, "Let's go for it." But that song's about just I'm I guess it's more for the people, I guess, that you have on the podcast, just, songwriters and people that are just going out and grinding and playing shows and just trying to be heard, but
Hard.
yeah, it's a tough road, and then half the time the people aren't there to see you. They're there for,
Oh,
hanging out
yeah.
with friends. If you're playing, like, bars or something, they're there to go to the bar, and you gotta make them pay attention to you somehow, and
Yeah, you're just background music sometimes.
yeah, you just doing your best to try to get noticed in a world like that, so that's what the song's about. 1, 2. Feeling my my way through this plain and unfamiliar place, and seeing pictures of this land through dusty windshield frames. The fumes from the mill stacks make the sky wave like the tide. The air that fills my lungs ain't clean, but it's alive. Lord knows I ain't the first. This road's been worn and good before. And I might find Spokane line by early Sunday morning. Tuck away in corner stage and tell my stories too. A crowd that ain't there for me, but I don't have much to lose. And they don't know the aching bones or miles that got me here. A faceless, nameless stranger picking heartache in their ear. Life in cars and empty bars and broken hardwood floors. It's never been a straight and easy road for troubadours. I've journeyed through the valleys and the mountains far and long. The words I couldn't say out loud I put into these songs. And I've had my share of vices, more than I care to count. But I've been trying to walk the line, lay my addictions down. Building from my soul to a sea of wandering eyes, and praying they might spare some change to last me through the night. And I miss my Susquehanna and my mountain laurel home, but my northern star's a corner bar in the next town alone. And they don't know the aching bones or miles that got me here. A faceless, nameless stranger picking heartache in their ear. Life in cars and empty bars and broken hardwood floors. It's never been a straight and easy road for troubadours. Maybe I might never see the end of my lifetime, as long as there's a harmony and humming neon signs. I'll pick and play till my lungs give way. We've all but paid our dues, with guitar strings and scraping change and souls worn off our boots. They don't know the aching bones or miles that got me here. A faceless, nameless stranger picking heartache in their ear. Life in cars and empty bars and broken hardwood floors. It's never been a straight and easy road for troubadours. That shameless, thankless, heart out singing in a road for troubadours.
And that was Road for Troubadours by Jake Mach. We have one more of your one more of your songs from that album, 95. Tell me about it.
That's definitely my favorite song on the album, and it's probably the most personal song I ever wrote.
Mm.
So, Ken's and I, we started long distance. So the first year we were together, I was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia, and she was living up here in Glen Rock. And we would just take turns between her driving down to see me and me driving up to see her. And I worked the weekend overnight shift at the Naval Hospital, so it was like when she drove down to see me, I'd be working all night and I'd be like asleep half the time when I was home. And we were just kind of like, I tried to stay up because we wanted to make what we could of the time we had together. And then um, sometimes I would drive up here to see her, and because I worked the overnight, like I would go in at Sunday night at 7 p.m. and I'd work the 12-hour shift until 7 a.m. Monday morning, and then make the 6-hour drive ballpark from there to here, like, immediately. It was like
It's a lot.
yeah, and it was rough because if you ever done long distance, like, that's just rough, like, and especially, like, the long times, like, sometimes it just doesn't work out timing wise, like, stuff's going on and you can't see each other for, like, over a month, and it's tough. So for 95, we, I just kinda started thinking about things that we'd said to each other or things that, I thought and I wanted to say and just kinda took everything for how things were, and I just tried to write a song about it, and, this is, like, the most honest song I've ever written, like, everything in this song is true, and it's from the heart, and, like, half the time I'm singing it, and I'm just, like, still getting a little choked up, and I'm gotta look over at her like, "Let's get through this one." But no, this is definitely my favorite song on the album.
This is 95 by Jake Mach.
Hold me closer in the driveway. Squeeze me till your knuckles match the sky. The sun ain't been around all damn day, and it's bound to disappear till I'm again near your side. Thought by now I'd had a little saved up for that 7 acre we'll raise a family on. This job's been keeping me away. Wish they'd call off the brigade. I'll be on my way come Monday morning dawn. Oh, I've meant every single word I said. These nights we spend alone are just for now. I plan to make good on my promises. This time next year I swear I'll be around. So tonight just be with me, and you and I can dream about where we'll be 10 years down the line. Wrap me and rock me till I see you again. Miles of 95. Won't be long until I fill the tank up. Pack a weekend's worth of clothes and hit the road. Aim my headlights north, drive my foot down through the boards. Let your porch light be a lighthouse calling home. Oh, I've meant every single word I said. These nights we spend alone are just for now. I plan to make good on my promises. This time next year I swear I'll be around. So tonight just be with me, and you and I can dream about where we'll be 10 years down the line. Wrap me and rock me till I see you again. Miles of 95. Winters may get rough the way they're going, but I'll keep the wood stove burning that time of year. When your hair is turning gray, mine is all gone away. I'll hold your hand and whisper in your ear. Oh, I've meant every single word I said. Those nights we spent alone sure paid out. I hope I've made good on my promises. I take you today without a second thought. So tonight just be with me, and you and I can dream about where we'll be 10 years down the line. And remember when you rock me till I see you again. Miles of 95. And remember when you rock me till I see you again. Miles of 95. Oh, miles
And that was 95 by Jake Mach. Jake, what's next for you after this EP coming out? What's next after that, do you think?
We're just gonna play as many shows as we can, and, I got a couple songs, kinda in the waiting in the wings that I didn't think were gonna fit on this project as, like, a whole project. I don't know. Does
Right,
that make
right.
sense? I think an album should kinda be like a whole project in and of itself, and the other songs that I kinda have, I didn't feel like fit that mold, and I'd rather release those as singles or, come maybe do a different project down the line, but yeah, I'm always writing new music, so I'm always looking to put stuff out.
And this part is your first non-solo solo, project.
Yeah. So,
So, what do you wanna do? Do you wanna expand? Do you wanna become a full band or
I'd like to, I just feel like, with me being a full-time student, then I got another job on the side and doing this full-time, it's just like, my schedule is swamped and, trying to line that up with a bunch of other people. Feel like, you're kinda trying to, like, fit a needle or, what is it? Camel through the eye of a needle.
Right, right, right.
Like, "Oh god, let's just pick this date. I'm good on this date, but not this time."
That's awesome, man. And you got, what is 96 shows this year so far?
97
97?
as of, like, an hour ago, 97.
That's incredible, man. What is one of the biggest shows this year that you're excited for?
Well, I was looking Double Barrel was, like, the one that I was like, "I really, really wanna play Double Barrel. I really, really wanna do it. Let's get this chance." So, I mostly just play, uh, breweries, bars, wineries, and stuff like that right now. But, I always love playing at I gotta give shout out to Boyer Cellars. I always love playing at Boyer Cellars. The owners are awesome people, and, they always make me feel welcome, and the crowd's always great.
So, as your time in the Navy, we all know that some shenanigans go on in the military. What are some great shenanigans you guys have gotten up to in the Navy?
Oh, man. I ain't got much time to think about this. Uh, Imma have to plead the 5th on this one. I can't really think nothing really comes to mind that I think I can say on camera.
That's kind of fair. So what's one of the best pieces of advice or here's a question. How do you think the military has helped you with your, music writing at all if at all?
Well, definitely when I was on the ship, it definitely gave me a lot of time to kinda, really think things through and just sit there and pick around with a guitar, and I got a chance to listen to, like, a bunch of new music, and I got really into Americana when I was on the ship, so I got to listen to a bunch of cool people, and I feel like that expanded the type of music that I drew upon when I go to write songs. So, like, a lot of times when I'll be listening to a certain type of music, and I'll just hear, like, a word somebody uses, and I'm like, "I like that word. I need to use that word somewhere. I don't know how Imma do it, but I need to use that," or, like, they got, like, a good vibe going in a song, and I'm like, "I like that vibe, maybe I could try to do something that has this sort of vibe to it." A different song, but, like, like, oh, they got, like, a light brush drums, and they got that and, like, a real, like, just minuscule acoustic guitar, yada, yada, and I think maybe I could try something like that, and then I'll write something like that, and then I'll think about how I wanna produce it, and it'll be like, "No, I wanna produce that differently." But I just feel like being in the military gave me a lot of time to explore musically, what I could do and where I wanted to go, and it gave me a chance to kinda check out different styles of writing, I guess.
So with that then, what do you think are your top 3, like, influencers
Uh,
on your music writing?
so Imma say right now, Cody Johnson, Eric Church, and, Ray Fulcher. And if you don't know Ray Fulcher, he's, if you like Luke Combs, pretty much pick any of Luke Combs' number 1 singles, and Ray Fulcher was writing on it.
Really?
Yeah. Now Ray's doing his solo stuff now, and, like, me and Ken are just he's actually the reason me and Ken started talking because she suggested him to me. I put a Facebook thing out, and I was like, "Let me know some of your favorite songwriters," and she commented and said Ray Fulcher, and I checked him out, and then that's how we started talking. But no, we can't wait for that man to take off, like, it's gonna happen. It's just like, all right, come on. Let's get that one song where radio finally sends him up."
So what's one of the, most memorable lessons you've learned for, your music or in
Just
life in general?
I guess just be everybody's got their kinda input, like, "Oh, if you want people to pay attention, you gotta do this," or, you gotta do this, you gotta sing about this, or this is how you have to act, and I just feel kinda comfortable with who I am, and I'm not trying to put on a show or nothing, or I'm trying to put on a show, but I'm not
Right,
trying to put on an act for you, like,
right.
I feel like when I'm on stage, you're seeing me, and, like, I'm not gonna go up there and shake my hips or nothing like that. I'm just gonna go up there like, I'm just a normal dude. I just wanna, write songs, and I wanna sing songs, and these are my stories.
And so right now, you just acoustic solo act?
Yep.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's going good.
So, is it just with cover songs, or do you have, your, full original set?
I don't do full originals. I usually do so if I do, like, a 3-hour set, I'll usually do, like, 2 originals an hour. 'Cause a lot of times, I am background music. I wanna play you songs that you know, and then I kinda look at it like once you start paying attention, because you like how I'm doing those songs, like, now that I have your attention, here's
Mhm.
some of my stuff, and I'll just throw that in there, and then it usually goes well. I usually get, a few followers here and there after every show, or my Spotify streams have finally been going up, and it's cool.
Awesome, man. Would you ever wanna go on tour?
Oh, yeah.
Where would you wanna go on tour?
Definitely wanna stop in, like, Virginia Beach 'cause, I was stationed there for so long. I know so many people there. I'd love to just work my way down the East Coast, maybe stop by, like, Nashville, Pigeon Forge area.
Nice area.
Yeah. I feel like just kinda the whole Southeast region be a nice spot to do.
It's a nice circuit to there as well.
Yeah.
You can definitely get in on that, and especially if you're really good at networking, you can definitely make a lot of money doing that.
I'd say Texas, but I don't think I'm good enough guitar player to go to Texas.
Really?
Oh, you gotta know what you're doing, man.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
That
Texas is, like, the spot. I feel like everybody that plays guitar in Texas plays guitar insanely good.
really?
Yeah, you couldn't walk into a guitar like, I was in San Antonio, and you couldn't walk into the Guitar Center and not have, like, a couple dudes just shredding, and there's me who knows, like, a couple licks and stuff from songs I like, and I'm in there just kinda diddling around like, "I'm leaving, man.
Okay.
Dude's over here just shredding."
Everything's bigger in Texas, and apparently guitars are better.
Yeah.
So, out of all the shows you've done so far, what's one of the funniest or worst things that ever happened to you yet?
What'd you say? Oh, yeah. Good Day PA. So, I was on Good Day PA 2 times, and what they'll do is they'll do the live show, they'll have you do your interview, and they'll have you play, but then if you have another song and they have the free time, at the very end, after the show's over, they'll bring you back into the studio, and they'll pre-record you doing another one of your songs, and then they could do, just air that at a later date if they need some
Mhm.
filler. But, yeah, thanks for bringing that up. But so, I did my song "Golden Days" on Good Day PA, and then they were like, we'll come back after and we'll do Dust on the Road," which is a song I wrote about Glen Rock, and, so we put the mic stand back out there. I didn't check anything because I didn't think anything was, like, adjusted. Excuse me. But, I get to playing the song, and I start noticing about to the first chorus that the mic stand isn't locked fully, and it's just slowly so by, like, the second chorus, I'm like, I'm squatting real low, like, I'm kinda, like, leaning back. I'm not break like, I'm "I'm gonna do this. I'm getting through this." So, maybe they're gonna notice, and they'll just keep the camera on my top half, which looking back now wouldn't have made a difference because I looked like I was limboing. But, like, toward the end of the song, I'm, like, looking around like, "Is anybody gonna stop me? Like, are you guys gonna say, like, 'cut' and I can, like, restart or something?" And nobody's doing nothing. And then before I know it, I feel like I was just as low as I think I've ever gotten. My legs are burning just from bending and trying to, like, keep my composure. And at the very end, they were like, "You wanna redo it?" "Why didn't you stop me? Nobody said nothing." And they were like, "We just thought you were really into it, man." Like, the mic is well, at the very end, I stood straight up and the mic was at, like, between, like, my belly button and chest.
You got your workout in for today.
Yeah, I did. And I was like, "Can you please send me that?"
Yeah,
So, like, I
that
posted the original one, but then I was like a couple months later, I was like, "Alright, I need you guys to see this because this was hilarious."
yeah, that's great. That's awesome. What a funny kudos to your dedication for that.
I was like, we're not that we were on live TV, but I was like, "This might be the one that airs, so I can't break my composure. I'm just gonna keep playing."
And it's like you might not get a second chance to restart it.
Yeah, because nobody said nothing. Nobody acknowledged it. I was like, I guess this is my one shot, so I'm just gonna keep going." They're like, "You wanna do it again?" I'm like, "Yes, please."
Yes, please. Yes, please. Give me a bottle of water, and we'll get back on it.
Oh, my legs were burning.
So, you've done all this Cool stuff. We talked a little bit about the future. What kind of styles do you wanna break into, or what kind of techniques do you wanna add to your music?
So I really like getting kind of this, like, more '80s, '90s feel and, kinda, like, more bluegrassy.
Mhm.
I think next I kinda wanna try to do more of I wanna keep, like, the fiddle and the steel, but I kinda wanna do more, if I could, like, a big band style of it, like, kinda like Cody Johnson sounding, where it's, like, it's fiddles, but it's, like, heavier drums and a little more heavier guitars.
I've always wanted a country song with a full orchestra.
That'd be pretty cool.
I know, 'cause every other genre that does it is incredible. It's just incredible.
Yeah,
You think about September from Earth, Wind& and Fire.
yeah,
It's got a whole brass section.
yeah,
Duh, why not?
yeah. I think it's cool because Luke Combs put some of that in some of his songs. He'll throw some, like, horns in there, like, he'll throw some, like, extra strings in there. It's like
Yeah. Like, ooh.
he got, like, that honky tonk with little horn section in it, like, okay.
Yeah, Cody Tyler is putting out an album with that as well, with horns and stuff in it, and it's just like, duh, why wouldn't
Oh,
you
yeah.
put a whole orchestra in a country song?
Like, make it big.
Make it big, go big or go home. It's country's big, you should do it.
Go for
I
that big sound. You got a big voice, you need a big band.
absolutely, man. So where can people find you?
So I'm on Facebook at Jake Mach singer-songwriter and Instagram at Jake Mach Music, and then I'm on all streaming platforms, so, like, Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music. Maybe people still got, like, Deezer or something. I'm on there, I promise.
So, what are some of the few shows you have coming up? You got your March 3rd, album release party at where again?
It's at, Ale Craft Brewery and Railroad.
And then what else you got coming up?
So Thursday, I'm gonna be at Highland Taps and Tables in Hanover. Friday, I'll be at Fetish just down the road here in Lidditz
Yeah,
at, like Rock Lidditz Complex. And Saturday, I'll be at Hungry Run Distillery.
like
That's in
every time.
Lewistown.
That's so funny. Every time you're like, "Wait, line."
No, literally.
So, this has been a Jake Mach on the Story Podcast. My name is Corey Rosen. Uh, what have I got going on this week? Uh, this Saturday, we got 3 guests coming on this Saturday. We have, a guy named Grimlock. He is a local rapper from the area. He's gonna bring on his brother. They're, art activists with their music. They do really good causes around the area. Then later on that day, we have Angel Dway, who is an Afro pop, uh, singer-songwriter, dancer, uh, is an incredible guy. I worked on a movie with him actually, so we get to talk about
Pretty
that as
cool.
well, yeah. So with all that said, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day. We will see you guys later.